Hi, my name's Caroline Overington and I'd like to talk to you for a minute about my life in books. So these are not books that I've written, these are books that have really affected me. When I was a child, I was a big reader. We had a public library in the little town where I grew up, and one of the first books I took out of the library was The Secret Garden. And I don't know how many of you remember that book, but that sense of an old house with a mystery behind it and the intrepid nature of those children, it stuck with me for such a long time. And I remembered it as beautiful as the sense of place and the sense of romance and fear too, and mystery. And I remember thinking, that's what a book is. Like, it takes you on an adventure and it makes you feel like you're one of the kids in those pages. I loved it. Much later, I read My Brilliant Career. And for me, as a young girl growing up hoping to be able to make a living in Australia from writing, that was just such an eye-opener. One of the first stories told in Australia about making the choice between love, romance, and a life of one's own. That is a great theme for women all through life. How do I manage my own needs and desires and passions with the realities of having a family and a husband and or a partner? And it was done so beautifully, and you felt such anguish for her choices as she tried to make them. I really loved it. As an adult, as an older adult, I guess I've been completely entranced by books by my favourite writer of all time, who is Cormac McCarthy. And the reason I picked them to talk about my life in books is because I never thought that I would be the kind of person who would want to read about cowboys on the Mexican border, scalping of Indians, the violence and the blood and the death of the frontier. And yet he has a way of making you feel so invested in the outcome of these small boys they're cowboys, they're boys on horseback, trying to start from nothing and build something, which is the story of America. And there were three books obviously in the trilogy, and they have pride of place in my house. My house is a shrine to books, as I guess many of you will have a home very like that, with books on every surface. But it's the trilogy from Cormac McCarthy that I look at and I think I'll never get there, but that's the goal.